Hi there, this is Mr. Pete. I just want to make a really quick video showing you exactly what we're expecting for our science project due next month. The science project is a shoebox diorama for ecosystems, and it should be a really fun project. We are going to do a lot of it here in class, but there is going to be some of it for you to do at home with your kids, so try to have some fun with it. All right, so let's take a really quick look at what we're looking for so that you don't have any questions whatsoever. Every McKean4th student is going to be coming home with this science project sheet where they will have chosen a biome and an ecosystem. Their choices of biomes were aquatic, tundra, rainforest, desert, grassland, and the categories in each one, whether it be freshwater or saltwater, marine, an Arctic tundra, an alpine tundra, tropical rainforest or temperate forest, a hot, dry desert, a cold desert system, a savanna, or a prairie. So they were able to select that, and these are the items that needed to be in each project. They need to have living things, animals and plants, and non-living things, rocks, water, etc. We will be talking about all of those in class, so your children will know what those are, or at least should. They're going to have to label very specifically the names of each, and our goal is to have them labeling both. And I'm going to show you some examples here in a second. You can also see some examples here at the bottom. They're going to write a short paragraph, and it doesn't have to even be a paragraph. I'll show you some examples of that. They can literally just have sentences numbered, where they're going to have to give 3 examples. And this is really important because they can write a beautiful paragraph and not answer the prompt. They need to tell us how the living and non-living things depend or rely on each other. This is very important language. And then there is a rubric on the back that will show them exactly how many points they can score and whether or not they're going to get an E opportunity by getting all 7 points. So the key, of course, is that paragraph. If they have all 7 points, then we look at that paragraph, and if beyond how it relies, they've done some magnificent writing using a lot of that figurative language or something really creative that we're working on in writing or reading, they can, of course, get that E opportunity. All right? So everything is listed right here. So when they turn this project in, they should have a really good idea of how to get an E. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some projects of the past, and that way you'll have some ideas on what you can do at home to make sure your kids are doing well on this project. So here is a really good example of an aquatic biome, a freshwater ecosystem. This is a pond specific. And you can see how this is Eli Cooney from a few years ago. You can see here how Eli has labeled everything. He's labeled it biotic or abiotic, biotic being living. You can see everything labeled there. You can see the frog, you can see the sunfish. You can see there he has abiotic listed for water, and you can just see everything is very clearly labeled. There are rocks, actual rocks there. You can see construction paper and drawings here, and then he covered everything in green because, of course, that's a very important piece of a freshwater pond along with that water. Everything labeled wonderfully, and then you can see here in his paragraph, a wonderful paragraph. There are many abiotic and biotic things in my freshwater ecosystem. The fish, and here's the terminology, rely on the water for oxygen, and that's beautiful. You know, it's very easy to give very basic things, but getting the oxygen out of that water. The deer, beaver, and blue heron rely on water to drink. The bass rely on the frogs and other small fish for food. The bass and bluebirds also eat water bugs. The snapping turtle depends on small fish and frogs for food. Its tongue looks like a worm when its mouth is open and tricks the fish. The blue heron sits by the pond and relies on catching fish for food. All these animals depend on each other for their environment to survive. And you can see he threw a simile in there to make his writing teacher happy. This is Parker Howard's from last year. He did it a little bit different. First of all, he did a tropical rainforest. And just kind of stepping back, you can see very similar traits. He did pull some stuff off the internet, though. He labeled everything with numbers, and then at the top he had this wonderful kid-made key. He did his paragraph a little bit different, but you can see here everything's biotic or abiotic. He literally went 1, 2, and 3. The jaguar may rely on the water for hydration, and the plants may also rely on water for nutrients. The frog may rely on a rock and shelter for protection, and also a parrot bird may rely on a rock for insects. The snake may rely on a green plant for camouflage and shelter. And you can see the neat thing about Parker here is while he only has 3 listed, he doubled up every single one, and there was his E opportunity. You know, and without going into all of these, you can pause if you would like, but you can see how each one of these has everything that we're looking for. You can see we have a shoe box covered in paper. Here we have just a regular box. Here is another shoe box, but everything is very creative. This one again is just the cost of paper. Okay, and they're very similar to what Parker did. You can see in this one, by the way, here's a taiga. We haven't talked about taiga, it's a boreal forest, but this does fit within confines of our ecosystem as well. This is Aiden Kramer's from last year. He did a marine ecosystem, and again, you can see how wonderful his is listed. Another shoebox. A lot of these aquatic things that you see here, you can find at the dollar store if you're lucky, but please make sure that you are getting things that fit into your actual ecosystem. He's got a marine ecosystem, and you can see he's got sharks, he's got clownfish, he's got orcas, and you know, you can't put these obviously in a freshwater ecosystem. I love how he's got a humpback whale tail out there and a dolphin kind of bursting through, which is really awesome. And then you come over here, here is a tundra, and again, this is just a box cut up, but you can see everything beautifully labeled here. And again, another wonderful paragraph there. So these are all great examples of some E opportunities and some S pluses of the past as you kind of walk across. And again, just feel free to pause and get ideas. And we did also want to show you this one as well. Here's an ocean, but I just love, and Aiden's was like this as well. This one is kind of falling apart from a few years ago, but you can see how they have, again, in this marine ecosystem, you can see they have live and non-living. I prefer biotic and abiotic, but living and non-living is fine. But you can see just a box, some string, just a very nicely created project. This one doesn't have the paragraphs and stuff, we have lost that, but the really neat thing about this one is there's some sand glued on the bottom, and just really wonderful and creative. Okay, this is a project you have almost a month to do. Probably won't take more than a night. Take some time with your kids, take the materials that we send home, and create a wonderful project. But please, parents, listen to a few key things that I have here at the end. My last plea is that you help your students along the way, help your kids, but please make sure that these projects are their projects. That's not to say you can't help them along the way and you can't point them in the right direction, but please try to avoid doing this project for them. I know it can get frustrating sometimes when you're trying to point in one direction or another, but the best projects that we always get are projects that they've created. If you go back and you look at those projects, you can see that they're student created. And we've had parents offer, you know, can we have them tell us what to write and we write it for them? You know, my preference is no. I would rather have them write it out, and even if they're making mistakes, you're correcting those mistakes for them, as in spelling mistakes and punctuation mistakes, and having them rewrite it. It's okay if they work hard. It is a project and they have a month to do it. Don't be afraid to push them hard, and if they're giving you any hassle, let us know. We can always help out here as well. But please, please, please make sure that this assignment is their assignment. If you want to do special things, you can do special things. But keep us in the loop. Maybe take some videos of them creating with you. I think that's fun for us to get. We can put them up on our website. We can put them up on our YouTube channel. We love seeing parents share time with their kids. So this is a project that we're going to start here on our first Science Day tomorrow. We're so excited about that. But this is also a project that's going to come home, and you can start sending them incomplete as early as possible. And if they're in before the due date, we can always take a look and give pointers on how, if it's not an E, how to make it an E. That is okay. You know, our goal here is to get them to the end, not to make the end far too early before they actually learn the skill. All right? So enjoy this project. I know when parents sometimes see projects, they get all freaked out. I'm a parent. I've been freaked out. But use this, start early, and we promise, and when this is due on December 10th, we won't have another project before Christmas. Get it done. Get it done before Thanksgiving. That will help us out too. And we love sharing these out to the school. These are things that sit out in front of our classrooms that everybody in the school admires. The first thing that your kids said when they saw that this project was going to be something that they were doing is, we remember all the other grades doing it. We can't wait to do this. So we did have a lot of excitement, and we are excited as well. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch this way too long video, talk about something that didn't have to be this long, but please feel free to take a look at the ecosystems that you see kind of back here behind me and make this a special project, right? Thank you so much, and McKean4th will see you soon.